Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, July 3rd. And it's going to be an interesting evening. I just got to have a little bit of a realization thanks to a couple of comments by by Twitter followers that I read this morning. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me get to that in just a second. Where are we at? Well, we watched last night's show. Didn't get anything out of it. I mean, saw the power of veto. I thought as we bashed the power of veto, I feel kind of bad because I'm not mad at what they're doing and it's kind of neat, but at the other hand, it's kind of like they could do other things. It's just the competition last night wasn't really a competition as much as it was just an opportunity to do a cool video effect. It was a very much, in my opinion, a luck of the draw. Possibly showing that Sam is more skilled at figuring out how to play a game than everybody else. But still, the fact that, 3 people didn't do anything, couldn't catch one thing, and Jack only caught 2, and Christy caught 1, and then they had they multiplied everything by 10, so the score didn't look as pitiful as it was, which was 4 to 2 to 1. Instead, it said 40 to 20 to 10. Whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better. Whatever. It just, to me, it was kind of like, oh gosh, come on. But I get part of it. We already know what's going to happen, so let's not, spend too much time on these things. I mean, I can't get too mad because they're doing this for the TV viewers, not for the live feed viewers. So, but you think about that. You think about the old time. They didn't used to have power veto competitions. Now it's very often individual competitions, and that takes so long. We used to see the power veto competitions on the feeds. I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did. I remember. Well, I know we did at least at one point because I can remember seeing. I can't think of the name. I actually bought the game because it was a cool game, this little board game. I think it was Big Brother 4, Big Brother 5, Big Brother 5 maybe. Anyways, I can't think of the name of the game, but it's a game where you put these little tiles on end as people try to work their way across the board and to block each other. And everybody teamed up on one person, and it was kind of in the end, it wasn't that thrilling. I don't know. I mean, back then you just didn't care. You just didn't need it's so high tech now as far as the show production. It's like this. You go back to that and you're like, whoa, this is really boring. That's okay. All right. Stop with my frustration. Let's get on with what's going on. So Ovi started to get the sense last night that he was going. And that's how we all, yep, Ovi's going to go. He's kind of getting the hint, and then Nicole's kind of letting him know, I think almost more than anybody else. Other people were kind of still keeping up this, it's okay kind of a front like you may not go. But he decided, well, 2 things happened. Let's do them in order. Because one thing happened very late, and I saw reference to it on Twitter. Someone said there was a new commercial. And so I quickly popped up my TiVo, which was raw and recording, and I record the 2 late night shows on CBS just because I do. James Corbin and what's his name? It's on before him. I record those. So James Corbin was on, and I just quickly hit reverse on it and just start watching for a Big Brother commercial because they're on every single night. And there's the first Big Brother commercial I see, and I hit play, and it's like, tomorrow night's the first live eviction, and then they do this, or is it? And it was like, what? What? Or is it? I mean, obviously it isn't the way they say that. And I'm like, what the hell? And I took a video of the screen and I posted it. It's got tons of, retweets and stuff and all that, because obviously I got it up there quick enough that everybody else just grabbed a hold of that. And that just made me think, okay, so it's not going to be a live eviction tonight? Does that mean that implies the person that no one's really getting evicted? Now, as others have pointed out, well, they said, David, you're out of the house for now, so it really isn't an eviction. Is that the twist they're actually saying? That it's, well, he's getting kicked out of the house, but it's not an eviction technically because he may get to come back. I don't know. What I do know, as someone said to me, they used a word that caught my eye this morning, and they said, so if tomorrow is if today is a fake eviction, and I went, well, fake eviction. I hadn't thought of fake eviction. I had not thought of fake eviction. I just thought no eviction. But it could be a fake eviction. Now, many of you know what I'm talking about when I say fake eviction, but there are a few that probably have no idea. So, on other Big Brothers, where it's a public vote, that's the key difference here. Where it's a public vote, they occasionally, and I'm sure they do it in other versions, but I've only watched the U.S. the Great Britain, England, and Australia version, and Canada's much like the U.S., so it's not the same. But in England and Canada, England and Australia, every once in a while they'll do a fake eviction where they'll say the public has voted you out to a certain person. In reality, it may have been the person that got the most votes, like is the most popular. And they'll bring them out of the house and put them in a special holding area where they'll hang out for maybe a day or two. And then they'll bring them back into the house and announce it was a fake eviction. Now, again, this is where it's a public vote, not a house vote. So I don't know how they can play that out if Ovi gets evicted tomorrow or tonight and they put him to a holding area. Is David there? Has David been there the whole time? You know, watching the feeds. And so in Big Brother Canada, they let them, and Ethan and the other Big Brothers, I believe, when they were fake, they would let them kind of peek in on the house. Now, in the Canada version, what I'm thinking of is when they started the season with I think 3 house guests in seclusion, potential house guests, and they got to sit in a room basically and watch the live feeds or watch one feed, but they couldn't hear the audio. They could only see the video. So what if David's been sitting somewhere just watching a live feed, you know, and that's all he's had to do. It's just, but he's been able to see a little bit of interaction. That could be interesting. Of course, he's been there for 2 weeks. David has been in lockup for 2 weeks. There is no way. First of all, there's no way in the world he has a chance going back into the house. They don't. He's a stranger to them. Everybody else, the bonds between everybody else is so strong. The only chance he'd have is to getting in with someone who's really on the outs. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's just talk about Ovi. And it still looks like Ovi's probably going to be the one to go out tonight. So, if it's a fake eviction, it would be interesting. I don't care right now at this point, the fairness, the unfairness. I really don't care. For a couple of reasons. First of all, it's so early in the season. Whatever. Probably in part because I don't really want either Ovi or Kat to go. Neither of them is that annoying that I'm like, oh, I just want them out of the house. So I'm not like going like, damn it, I just want this person out so I don't have to deal with them anymore. So I'm not like going like, this is unfair, which I could be screaming that if the person that was likely going to be evicted was a real pain. But just think about that. If it's a fake, now it won't be a fake. It'll be some other stupid thing. It'll just be something stupid, and we'll go like, oh, jeez. But for right now, let's pretend that maybe it's a fake eviction, and maybe David is sitting somewhere at another camp, just watching, waiting to come back in, and Ovi will join him or something. So, that's that. Now, add to that, that's what I went to bed thinking. Well, I just went to bed thinking something's going to happen tonight, but then I thought about the fake thing this morning. Now, add to that apparently after I went to bed, Ovi decided to tell Jack and Jackson, I don't know who else he told, or if the word just got spread from there on, about his power. And I know Christy knows now. And I can't even tell you who else may know. I just couldn't keep track, and I don't have time to look it up because I have to get my butt to work. Point is, Ovi has revealed his power. Some people don't believe him. I think Christy doesn't believe him because he didn't tell her right when he got it. She still wants him out. Because Ovi was like, they could make the power work, but it's kind of hard to make the power work when you're the only person. When you, how do you make a power work? Now I talked about this in my Periscope last night, and I've seen somebody else with the same thought, so it's not like I have some great, amazing original thought, but I did think of it on my own, for what it's worth. But that's, obviously other people can think of it as well. So the person who has the power, Ovi, what would be his options? Let's even pretend that he wasn't getting evicted tonight, or let's pretend he does get evicted tonight, but let's pretend that if he hadn't been thrown out the door this quick, or whatever happens, how can he play that? Well, he really doesn't want to play it unless he's nominated. Okay, because he doesn't get immunity. He could still be nominated. So, Christy makes her nominations and doesn't nominate Ovi. Well, then why is Ovi going to use it to save Cliff and Kat? Because he could go up as an alternate. So that's why he didn't use it. However, let's pretend that Ovi was really, really tight with Christy and knew he was safe. Let's pretend that it's Tommy that had the power instead of Ovi. So Tommy's tight with Christy, but he doesn't think Christy's making a smart move. Thinks Christy's doing the bidding of Jack, and it's like, no, that's not who you really want to put up. Don't put them up. But Tommy's also not close enough to Christy to tell her that he has the power. We're pretending here. So Tommy then uses his power, forces Christy to make 2 more nominations. Christy won't put up Tommy because she's that tight with him. So in a way, Tommy gets the power to be used without him being nominated and gets 2 other potential people, hopefully one of the ones he's more in favor of, nominated. That's one way the power could have been used. Another way would obviously be if Ovi had been nominated, he could have used it to save himself. So that's another way. A third way would be, what was it? That you tell the head of household, look, I got this power. Put up a couple of people to appease your friends, and then I'll use the power, and you'll be forced to put up who you really want to put up. And then the last way would be if the head of household won the power. So let's pretend Christy won the power. Now she has the power. Now, frankly, I doubt she would do this because you'd keep it in your pocket. But you could put up 2 of your allies, your closest allies, to make everybody think you weren't in an alliance, and then use the power to save them, and then put up other people. Again, that's not something anybody would do if it was early in the game, because she has six nominations to get through. Why would you do that this early on? But it's fun to talk about. It's fun to look at a different way you could do it. But Ovi now has told Christy that, or told Jack and thus Jackson and thus Christy. I don't know if he told Jackson or if I just don't know. I'd have to go back and look. It was, as I said, late last night. The point is, several people know that Ovi has a power, or possibly has a power. And Ovi kind of thinks that he might have a chance now, because it's like, how do you use that power? It's not a power that can save a bunch of people. And when you use it, you risk yourself going up unless you're already nominated. So it's not a great power to negotiate with. How's that? But he tried anyways. And that's why I thought it wasn't worth the risk, because once you've thrown it out there, now it's lost a lot of it's lost some of its strength or secrecy, and now you're just going to tick people off. But that's happened. So now the power really is just totally, it's there. I don't know if it'll ever get used. It's basically a safety for Ovi, but he's getting thrown out of the house, right? Or is he? So that's what's up. Just not sure what's happening tonight. Hopefully, we'll all have it figured out tonight. Now, I'm being the eternal pessimist that I am when it comes to my satisfaction with Big Brother. Could I see something happening and then we won't know. We'll know, but we won't be allowed to see. We'll have or they'll shut down the feeds for 6 or 12 hours after the announcement or after the show. I don't know, just stuff that they could do. I mean, it'd be great if they start up if they actually put Ovi and David in a room together. And that was what I meant. So even though Ovi has told Jackson about, or Jack and maybe Jackson about this power, Jackson knows. Christy said that she still wants Ovi out, which, what difference does that make? That's Christy. But it does appear that they're still going to vote out Ovi. And then there's the question of, would he get to give his power to somebody else since he's been voted out? I don't know. That's one option. Or will he get to bring it back in if he comes back in? That's another option. Lots of things going on that I don't have the answers to. But hey, it's always fun to talk about, right? So, live show tonight. I'm not saying live eviction, live show tonight. And the problem is, for all of us that know what's going on, is that we're all just going to be like, yeah, get on with it. And we're not going to have, you know what? We may start knowing stuff. Well, we'll have to know stuff pretty early on. Because they usually do the voting and eviction, by the bottom of the hour. By 8:30 Eastern or so, they should be getting to the eviction. Or the fake eviction, or whatever it is. So, yeah. Could be interesting. All right, guys. That's it. I'm wrapping her up. I do need to give a shout out to my newest patron. And I gotta look it up before I do this, but those of you that are my patrons for my CarCast, thank you very much. Appreciated. And anyone that might be interested for some reason to become a patron of either this CarCast or the Big Brother Gossip Show, you can go to patreon.com and just search for Big Brother Gossip. You should find two different options. One would be Mike's CarCast. That's me. That's this. And I also do a non-Big Brother CarCast occasionally. More so when Big Brother's not on, and less so when Big Brother's on. It tends to be personal stuff. Not super personal, but kind of just general information. Like what I'm up to in general. Went on vacation last October. Took a cruise. Spent a day in Cuba. I did like a 14-part series where I just talked about my day in Cuba. So you can find that, by the way. It's not hidden. It's not for patrons only. It's just Mike's non-Big Brother podcast. So, but I do those, and that's the people that support me on that. That's very cool of them, and I appreciate it. You can check it out. You can also just become a member of the Big Brother Gossip Show patrons. And don't forget, as we said on the podcast, we're going to give away a couple of totes this summer. Handbags, canvas handbags. They're 18 inches by 18 inches canvas with... One has the Big Brother Gossip Show logo on it, and one has Day Drinking with Scott and Colette logo on it. On each side. It's on each side. And one side of each one is signed by Tom Green. Whether you like that or not, that's a whole other thing. If you don't want to do any of that, and you want to just get your own damn Big Brother Gossip embossed item, you can always go to threadless.com, THREADLESS, I believe.com, and find Big Brother Gossip. There's a link to it on our podcast page, which is bigbrotherpodcast.com. All right, way too much information at the end here, but I hadn't talked about it for a while, so tossing it out there. I am pulling into my parking area. You guys have a wonderful 4th of July if I don't talk to you. And hopefully tonight's an exciting show. I don't know if I'll do a CarCast tomorrow. I will be with my family doing stuff, and I don't know if I'll have any alone time. And frankly, if I pulled this up while we were going somewhere for the 4th of July, I'd get some evil stares. So that won't be happening. All right, I'm parked. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.